Dear friends, dear students, today we will discuss about carboxylic acids and derivatives. Session 5. Myself, I am Ashok Alshala, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, Kakatiya Government College, Hanamkonda, Warangal, Urban District, Telangana State. What we will going to discuss today? We will discuss about acid amides and esters. Previously, we discussed in this carboxylic acid and derivatives. In session 4, we discussed about acid chlorides and acid amides. In this class, we'll discuss about acid amides and esters. Let us see what are these. The first one is the acid amides. Acid amide is nothing but when the hydroxyl group of carboxylic group is replaced by NH2 group, that is amino group, acid amides are formed. See this one, the OH is replaced by NH2. That means that's why it is called as an acid derivative. The OH group of the carboxylic acid is replaced by the NH2. It is called carboxylic acid, it is called acid amide. Now let us see this one. The first carboxylic acid is the formic acid, and the formamide is manufactured by catalyst combination of ammonia and carbon monoxide under high pressure. That is carbon monoxide and ammonia, when these are reacted under a high pressure in the presence of a catalyst, you will get what we call it as the formamide, and this is a specific reaction. Let us go for the other one is the heating ammonium acetate, that is a carboxylic salt of ammonium acetate in the presence of a glacial acetic acid. In the presence of glacial acetic acid gives acetamide. For the preparation of the formamide, we won't use the formic acid. We use carbon monoxide and ammonia, and under high pressure they react to form formamide, whereas in the case of the acetamide, just by heating ammonium acetate, you will get the acetamide. How do you get this ammonium acetate? This can be obtained from the acetic acid. When acetic acid is treated with the ammonia, you will get ammonium acetate, which on heating you will get acetamide. Now let us see. Other one is the other method of the preparation is the action of concentrated ammonia solution and an acid chloride or acid anhydride. This which we have discussed in the session 4, that is about acid chlorides and acid anhydrides are discussed in session 4. In session 5, we are discussing acid amides and esters. Now let us see what happened here. This is, you know that it is an acid chloride. How does it is formed? When a acetic acid is treated with the PCl3 or PCl5 or thionyl chloride, you will get the acetyl chloride. And when it is treated with the ammonia, then you will get what is called as acetamide. And another one, you know, this acetic anhydride. We discussed this also. Acetic anhydride in session 4, its properties, preparations we discussed. In acetic anhydride, this is formed from acetic acid by the dehydration in presence of phosphorus pentoxide or concentrated sulfuric acid like dehydrating agent. Now, this acetic anhydride when treated with the ammonia, you will get acetamide. Now let us see, this is another one. This is from ester. When ester is treated with the ammonia, you will get what is called as the acetamide and ethyl alcohol. Here it is the byproduct is ammonium acetate. Now let us see, the other one is the another method of the preparation is the partial hydrolysis of alkyl or aryl cyanides, that is aliphatic cyanides or aromatic cyanides, by using alkaline hydrogen peroxide. Alkaline hydrogen peroxide, this is capital H2O2, or by dissolving it in concentrated sulfuric acid, followed by pouring the solution into cold water. This you observe this one, the methyl cyanide in presence of alkali, hydrogen peroxide, and you will get the acetamide. Then let us see what is the mechanism involved here. See, this is a mechanism you can observe. This is a methyl cyanide. You know there is a triple bond between the carbon and nitrogen. Nitrogen is more electronegative. That's why the pi bonded electrons are more attracted towards the nitrogen. And this hydroxide ion will be adds here. And here the OH minus ion is added to this carbon because it is positively, it is negatively charged one. And here you will get an intermediate where nitrogen having negative charge, and this takes the H plus ions, where in this H2O2 the H plus ion is taken by this one. You will get an imine hydroxy compound which undergo a rearrangement. Finally you will get acetamide. That means the methyl cyanide in presence of hydrogen peroxide and that is in alkali, you will get an acetamide compound. Now let us go for the, this is what is this one. Now let us go for the properties of the acidamides. What are the properties of acidamides? Acidamides are colorless crystalline solid, melting at 82 degrees centigrade. It is easily soluble in water. You know why it is easily soluble in water or alcohol? Because this is because the hydrogen bond formation, where a hydrogen bond is present like in ammonia. Here in acetamide also there is an hydrogen bond because there is a oxygen is also there, nitrogen is also there. That's why it dissolves in water and alcohol, and it is also dissolves in ether because of its an organic compound. It also dissolves in ether. Now let us see the other one. In the case of the properties of amides, the first one we discuss about the hydrolysis of amides. You know what is meant by hydrolysis? Hydrolysis is nothing but reaction with water. When acetamide is treated with the water, you see, observe what happened here. You will get acetic acid and ammonia. That means splitting will be takes place. H plus ion is added to the NH2 and OH minus ions are added to the CO. Therefore, it is, you'll get the acetic acid and ammonia. Now let us see this one. Another property of acidamide. Okay, let us see the hydrolysis of acidamides. In basic hydrolysis, the second product is ammonia. Just now we observed. See what happens? The OH minus ion is added here. The pi bond is shifted to this oxygen. So that what happens? You know this among the carbon and oxygen is more electronegative. That pi bonded electron is more attracted towards oxygen. And you will get an intermediate compound where the oxygen will get negatively charged. And this negative charge again it will be shifted to between the carbon and oxygen. In the same time the amide ion will be eliminated, and here you will get what is the carboxylic acid is formed. This amide ion, you know, the water contain OH as well as H plus ion. The remaining H plus ion is taken by the amide and it will be result in the formation of ammonia. That means in presence of base, that is in basic hydrolysis, the second product is ammonia. What about this in, what about in acidic medium? See, in acidic medium, what happens? We will get an ammonium salt. That is in acidic, it will get the ammonium salt. Let us see what is here. H plus ion, where in the previous case the OH minus ion is added to the carbon, whereas now the H plus ion is added to the NH2. That's why it is a proton acceptor and accept the proton. Therefore here the nitrogen will get the positive charge, and here there is some changes takes place where the pi bonded electron goes to the oxygen, and that's why you will get the negatively charged one. And here it is a nucleophile where the water molecule has a two lone pair of electron, and it become in a nucleophilic center, and so that it will adds on this carbocation. The same time the ammonia will be eliminated. Now here you observe this one, what happens, being this nucleophile is added here, the oxygen got a positively charged, and this will be loses a proton, and you will get the acetic acid where ammonia takes this proton and gives the ammonium plus ion. This what happens, you can observe here, the ammonium ion will form the salt because it is a salt. In acidic basic hydrolysis, you will get simply ammonia, but whereas in acidic hydrolysis, you will get the ammonium ion. This is what is the ammonium ion. Now let us see this another property of the amides, amphoteric nature. That is, what is this amphoteric nature? Amphoteric means what? Amphoteric means both acidic and basic character. That is, acid amides, because of the carbonyl carbon, there is a NH2 group. Because of that acetyl group, it has a basic character, because basic as well as a basic, acidic as well as a basic character. Because the acetyl group reduces the basic character, and NH2 group and also makes the compound weakly acidic. And here you observe this one, this is what is acetyl group, and because of this group and amide group, this will react to form the, what is this, it forms unstable salts with a strong inorganic acid. It is a strong inorganic salt, that is acetamide hydrogen chloride. It dissolves in mercuric oxide to form a covalent mercury compound, and this because it is reacting with this HCl, that's why here it shows an acid a basic character, whereas here it forms a covalent compound where it behaves as an acid. See mercuric oxide, and that's why you'll get in a compound, that is mercuric acetamide is formed. Now let us see the other one is the, in the properties of the amides, you will get this amphoteric nature. See this one, to explain the amphoteric nature of the amides, that means it behaves as well as the acid as well as the base. It is assumed that amide is exhibiting tautomerize, and the hydrogen atom wanders, this hydrogen atom wanders between two polyvalent atoms in the same molecule. That means here it is nitrogen is a trivalent, oxygen is a divalent. This way, that's why we can say it is a polyvalent atoms. And the same molecule, one of the structure is keto form. This one is a, because there is a C double bond O, and the other form is a enol form. Why? Because there is a double bond and OH both are there. That's why we say it is an enol form. Therefore, it has a keto form. When it is present in the keto form, it behaves as a basic nature. When it is in the enolic form, it has acidic nature because double bond and OH both are present. Therefore, it loses H plus ions. Whereas here it is basic because NH2 is with a single bond. There is a lone pair of electron is available for the donation. That's why the keto form is basic in nature and enol form is acidic in nature. See, this is the what happens in this case. Now let us see the other one is said to be the, in the amphoteric nature, the two isomers are called as desmotropic forms, not similar to the keto-enol form. And this amphoteric, that is keto form and enol form, are called as the desmotropic forms, and the phenomenon is called desmotropy. Whereas in the keto-enol tautomerism, that is tautomerism we call, but whereas here we call it as a desmotropy. This is what is, this is a keto form, this is the enol form. These two forms are called as desmotropes. Desmotropic forms are desmotropes, and this phenomena is called as desmotropy. This is what is desmotropy. Now let us see the other property is said to be the reduction. What happened to the reduction? The catalytic reduction or reduction by sodium in presence of ethyl alcohol gives ethylamine. What actually happens here? This C double bond O group, it will take the hydrogens and remove in the form of H2O, and therefore it is converts into the methylene group, we can say here you will get an ethylamine. The catalytic reduction or sodium in ethyl alcohol, the amides always gives an amine compounds. Now let us see, the other one is said to be the dehydration. You know what is dehydration? Dehydration is nothing but removal of water. When amides are dehydrated in presence of phosphorus pentoxide, and it simply gives removal of water takes place, and see this oxygen and this hydrogen will be removed in the form of H2O. That's why you will get a alkyl cyanide. For example, if you take this acetamide, and this will give the methyl cyanide. Now let us go for the another one is the reaction with nitrous acid. That is, what is nitrous acid? You know, nitrous acid is unstable. It is never prepared and stored. It is always prepared in situ. In situ means whenever it is required, it is prepared and used in the reaction. Then how does it is prepared nitrous acid? By the mixture of NaNO2 and HCl and at low temperature. When this mixture NaNO2 and dilute HCl is added to the acetamide, and this will give the nitrous acid, and that will react with the acetamide, and acetamide is converted into the acetic acid where nitrogen is eliminated. That means when amides are treated with the nitrous acid, the nitrogen is eliminated and carboxylic acids are formed. Now let us go for the other and very important reaction is Hofmann bromide degradation reaction. It is also called as Hofmann hypobromite reaction. This is a very, very important reaction. In Hofmann hypobromite degradation reaction, what happens, you see, when an acid amide is treated with the bromine and dilute alkali, it gives a primary amide. Then what is important in this one is the amine formed is always one carbon less than the amide, that is the parent compound. This reaction is prepared for preparing a lower homologue of from a higher homologue. For example, you see here it is a 2 carbon amine and here it is 1 carbon. It is a 2 carbon amide, you will get 1 carbon. This is going to be the acetamide. This is going to be the acetamide. This is going to be the methylamide. Now you see the what happens during this case Hofmann bromide degradation reaction. What happens, the mechanism you can observe here. First step is said to be the formation of acetobromamide. Formation of acetobromamide. How does it formed? See, the acetamide when treated with the bromine, these two hydrogen, that is amine, this amine nitrogen will be reacts with this one. One bromine is taken by the nitrogen, the hydrogen and the remaining bromide will be goes to here in the form of eliminated in the form of hydrogen bromide. Now let us see, this is what happened to the in the second step. In the second step, if you see in Hofmann bromide degradation reaction, acetobromamide being acidic form, because there is a hydrogen, form a salt with alkali, and then undergoes molecular rearrangement to form methyl isocyanate, and this way the 1,2 shift takes place. See, acetobromide is acidic and that's why it reacts with the potassium hydroxide. That Hofmann bromide method is nothing but bromine in presence of KOH, and this acidic form of the acetobromide now forms methyl isocyanate by 1,2 shift. You can see here how does it will be formed. That is KOH. What happens? It takes the H plus ion and it is removed in the form of water, so that you will get a lone pair of electron on the nitrogen, and here it will be see what happened, there is a migration 1,2 shift, and here this will be shifted to the first and this will be shifted to second. That's why in this what happens, you will get a ketene. That means in the second step, you will get a ketene by the elimination of bromine, and there is an 1,2 shift arrangement. Now let us see, this is the what happens in this case. Now let us see this one. What happens in third step? The ketene, whatever which is formed in the second step, will undergo hydrolysis. The methyl isocyanate reacts with alkali and carbonyl part is removed. See, this is the methyl isocyanate in presence of potassium hydroxide, and you will get this is the methylamine. This is NH2. And you will get this is the methylamine and potassium carbonate is formed. This is not NH3, this is NH2. Methylamine is formed. Now let us go for the other one. See, okay, before going to this, see in this case, these are the some of the very important reactions and methods of preparations. In this Hofmann hypobromate reaction is very important and hydrolysis is important. With this, we can conclude this acid amides. Now let us go for the another one. Here we discussed about the acid amides. Now let us go for the esters. Let us see what are the esters and what are the methods of the preparation of the esters and what are the properties of the esters. Let us discuss about this one. Now let us go this one. See, these are the what is said to be the esters, and in this case you can see now esters is produced when carboxylic acid reacts with an alcohol. The process of formation of ester is called as esterification. How does it is formed actually? Carboxylic acid reacts with alcohol in presence of either acid or base to give the ester and water. This reaction is specifically called as esterification. The reverse reaction is said to be the ester hydrolysis. Ester have sweet smell and are used as artificial flavoring substances in making sweets, in making perfuming syrups and pastry, etc. Esterification is analogous to the neutralization of an acid with a base, but the similarity is only superficial. Means, you know, an acid react with a base to form salt and water. It is similar to the carboxylic acid react with alcohol to form ester and water. But it is similar but not same. And that's why we call it is only superficial. Now let us see what are the differences between the ester and the salt. Esters are covalent compounds, whereas salts are ionic compounds. Esterification process is very slow, whereas salt formation is very fast. As soon as an acid treated with the base, an instantaneous reaction takes place and forms salt. Esters are readily hydrolyzed, but whereas salts of only weak acid or weak base get hydrolyzed. Esters are always neutral to the litmus, but whereas salts may be acidic, basic, or neutral in aqueous solution depending on the strength of the acid and base. Esters are volatile and have a pleasant odor. That when esters are kept open, simply they evaporate like petrol, whereas salts are non-volatile and have no odor. And this is the differences between the esters and salts. Now let us see the carboxylic acid in this one. What are the methods of the preparation of esters? What are the methods of the preparation of the esters? One is by reflexing silver salt of an acid with an alkyl halide. By reflexing silver salt of an acid with an alkyl halide in alcoholic solution, this method is very useful to prepare esters of tertiary alcohols. This is the silver acetate and is ethyl halide. When this dissolved in alcohol and reflexing means heating. It is another type of some heating in a flask and by using a distillation process. And here you will get the ethyl acetate and ethyl halide. This is one method of the preparation of the esters. Now let us see. That is another method you can see by the action of an acid chloride or acid anhydride on an alcohol. It is called alcoholysis reaction. Like with water we call is hydrolysis. With water we call it as hydrolysis. With alcohol we call it as the alcoholysis. Here it is O is missed. And with ammonia we call it as ammonolysis. You have to remember this terminology. When acetic anhydride is treated with the ethyl alcohol, you will get the ethyl acetate and acetic acid. Means as anhydrides, acid anhydrides, when treated with the alcohols, we will get the respective ester. Now let us see, other one is the carbox, that is another method of the preparation is said to be the methyl esters are conveniently prepared by treating an acid with a diazomethane. That is, we know that methyl alcohol is somewhat poisonous, but these methyl esters are prepared in another way, and it is easy way when compared to the methyl alcohol, and they are prepared by using the help of by using the diazomethane ether solution. That is the carboxylic acid. When treated with the diazomethane, you will get methyl acetate is formed. Now let us see, the other one is the Tischenko reaction. This is somewhat very important reaction, and when two molecules of aldehydes are condensed, this is not from alcohol, not from carboxylic acid, it is from aldehyde. They are, when these are allowed to condense in presence of an aluminum ethoxide, esters are formed. Let us see how does it will be formed. This is one aldehyde molecule, this is another aldehyde molecule, and there is a condensation takes place. This aldehyde is called acetaldehyde, and in presence of aluminum ethoxide, some condensation takes place. The hydrogen is migrated to here, and here we will get an ester. So this is going to be the C double bond O. One is going to be here, it is C double bond O, not hydrogen. This is going to be the O and double bond O. Here there will be an ester is formed. Now another method is said to be the esterification reaction. What is this esterification reaction? You know this one, this esterification reaction is nothing but carboxylic acid react with alcohol. This reversible reaction, it must be placed here. You will get ester and water. Esterification is a reversible reaction. Carboxylic acid react with alcohols in presence of small amounts of acids to form ester, and or 5 to 10% of concentrated sulfuric acid or dry HCl. Dry HCl is used as a catalyst. Now let us see this reaction. See, this reaction is esterification is a reversible reaction, and get good yield. For good yield, to get good yield, the forward reaction has to take place, because the reverse reaction is ester hydrolysis, the forward reaction is esterification. Therefore, the forward reaction must be favored. For that, what to do? Here, the formed water in the reaction mixture must be removed as soon as it is formed, because when water is removed, therefore no reverse reaction takes place. Water formed in the reaction is removed as soon as it is formed by using either dry HCl or concentrated or heated metallic oxide like thorium oxide, etc. So that when water is removed from the reaction mixture, the reverse reaction will be inhibited or slowed down, so that forward reaction goes more and more and will get more yield of ester. Now let us see the other one, the mechanism of this esterification. You see, the H plus ions, the first step is said to be the protonation step, where the oxygen will, the pi bond will be shifted to here, the proton is shifted to here. Protonation takes place. Due to this protonation, you will get a nucleophilic center where carbocation is formed. Carbocation is formed. When it is nucleophilic center is generated, then there is alcohol where oxygen is present, two lone pair of electrons are present. It acts as a good nucleophile, and this goes and adds to the nucleophilic center. Now, because of this reason, what happens? You will get oxygen, you will get a positive charge. The oxygen will they get positive charge, and that's why again there is some elimination of proton takes place. And see, there is two OH groups on the same carbon. As you know that when a carbon contains more than one OH group, there will be elimination of water takes place. Like this, elimination of water takes place and you will get ester. This is what is esterification. First step is the protonation step. Second step is the attacking nucleophile. Third step is said to be the loss of proton. Fourth step is said to be the loss of water. So that finally you will get the ester. This is called acetic acid. This is called ethyl alcohol. The final compound which is formed is said to be the ethyl acetate. Now this is what is the mechanism of the reaction. Just now we discussed it. Now let us see this one. The other method of the in this esterification reaction, the rate of esterification with respect to the alcohols with the given carboxylic acid is primary alcohols are more reactive than secondary alcohols than tertiary alcohols. Now let us see the other one is next one more preparation method is ketenes react with alcohol to produce acetic acid esters. That is, let us see what is ketene. This you know, this is ketene. When treated with the alcohol, it will give acetic ester. Depending on this or, that is, if it is ethyl group, we'll get ethyl estate. Ethyl estate. If it is a propyl group, we'll get the propyl ester. That's why we'll call acetic acid esters. Now let us see this one. One more. See this one. Seventh preparation is carboxylic acids react with alkene in the presence of boron trifluoride. When boron trifluoride is it, this will give ester. Carboxylic acid when treated with ethylene in presence of boron trifluoride, we will get ethyl acetate. The another one is said to be the aromatic substituted acids. Aromatic substituted acids react with alcohols to form esters. Similarly, substituted phenols react with acetic anhydride to give esters. Let us see this one. This is, you know, that orthobromobenzoyl chloride when treated with the ethyl alcohol, you will get ethyl orthobromobenzoate. This is benzoyl chloride group, and where ortho position is the bromine. Whereas in the case of the phenol, you can see this phenol case, para-nitrophenol, the position is at para position. When it is treated with acetic anhydride, you will get para-nitrophenyl acetate is formed. The byproduct is the acetic acid. In this way, the aromatic esters can be prepared with the ortho position, and in the case of the phenol, we can take it as a para position. Here it is directly reactive with the acid because it is an alcohol. Here it acts as an alcohol. Now let us see the other one is said to be the, what are the properties of the esters? What are the properties of the esters? Esters are colorless, neutral liquids or solids with characteristic pleasant or smell. Straight esters or straight chain esters have higher boiling point than the branched chain esters. Wherever you go with respect to the isomers, the straight chain isomer is always having higher boiling point than branched one, because the surface area in the case of the straight chain will be more when compared to the branched chain. That's why the straight chain isomers having more boiling point than branched chain isomers. Now other one we can say, ester can split by different substances easily. Suppose if it is split by ammonia, that is called as ammonolysis. If it is split by alcohol, it is called, I told you, alcoholysis. If it is split by acids, it is called acidolysis. If it is split by water, it is called hydrolysis. If it is split by alkali, we call it as a saponification. The saponification reaction is very important in making the soaps. Now let us see this other one. First, let us see the reaction with the PCl5. How does it react with the PCl5? Esters react with the PCl5 to produce acid chlorides and alkyl chlorides. Now see this one. This is ethyl acetate when treated with the PCl5. This ethyl group is removed as ethyl chloride, and here you will get, that is acetyl chloride, and another byproduct is said to be the POCl3. Another byproduct is said to be the POCl3. Now let us see the second reaction, reduction of the ester. How does it happen? Esters can be reduced to alcohol. The reducing agent that can be used are sodium and ethyl alcohol, or lithium aluminum hydride, or hydrogen under pressure at 300 atm. That means hydrogen under high pressure, 300 atm pressure, and in the presence of copper chromate catalyst, and heated at around 300 degrees centigrade. And here in this case, the on reduction, the ethyl estate will give 2 molecules of ethyl alcohol. That means there is hydrogen is added for ethoxy ion, and the carbonyl carbon also reduced to form the ethyl alcohol. Now let us see this one. The third one is ammonolysis. Just now I told you ammonolysis is nothing but reaction with ammonia. That is ethyl acetate when treated with ammonia. What happens? Here acid amides are formed. CH3, this is going to be the CH3CONH2. This is ethyl alcohol. This will be formed in the form of ethyl alcohol. This is not hydrogen. This is going to be the oxygen. We will get an acetamide compound. Now let us see what is the mechanism of ammonolysis. See, being the oxygen is more electronegative, during the reaction the pi bond electron is more attracted towards the oxygen because it is a nucleophile, and there is a lone pair of electron attacks on here nucleophilic center, where you will get an intermediate where nitrogen have positive charge, oxygen will have the negative charge. Here the removal of H plus ion takes place, and ethoxide ion takes place by shifting the negative charge to between the two carbon and oxygen. Then final product is acetamide. See, this is what is happened in the case of this one. Now let us see this one. Another property is said to be the alcoholysis. In presence of sodium alkoxide, ester is reflexed with a large excess of the alcohol to replace the alcohol part by another group of lower one. So for example, here it is butyl acetate. When we treated with the ethyl alcohol, we'll get ethyl acetate and butyl alcohol. Means the butyl group, the larger group can be replaced by the smaller alkyl group. That means this reaction is used to replace the alkyl groups from esters with the lower alkyl group. And this, what is the alcoholysis? Alcoholysis is nothing but reaction with alcohol. Now let us see, the other one is said to be the acidolysis. You know what is acidolysis? The residue of ester can be replaced by another acid residue. That is, here in the previously the alcohol residue is replaced, whereas here acid residue is replaced. For example, you see, this is ethyl acetate where the methyl group is present in acid part, and here it is treated with the valeric acid, that is 5-carbon carboxylic acid, so that when it is treated, what happens, the methyl group is replaced by butyl group. Therefore, it is called ethyl pentanoate, and the byproduct is the ethyl alcohol. Byproduct is not methyl alcohol. This is going to be the acetic acid, CH3COOH. Not, this is wrong. This is going to be the acetic acid, CH3COOH. Now let us see the other one is, see this one, reaction with Grignard reagent. That is formic ester react with the Grignard reagent to give product which on hydrolysis gives the aldehydes. You can see here, this is a formic ester where hydrogen is present in acid group. When it is treated with the Grignard reagent, you will get an intermediate compound which on hydrolysis will get an aldehyde, that is going to be the acetaldehyde, and this part will give the acetaldehyde, and this will give the ethyl alcohol, and you know Mg, this OH is taken MgOH. Now let us see this one. With Esters of other than formic ester react with the Grignard reagent to produce ketone. This is going to be the ketone. This is here methyl. This is ethyl ester, that is ethyl formate. Methyl magnesium bromide or iodide. Then it is addition compound, which on hydrolysis we will get a ketone compound because this is the case. This is a case, that's why it is a ketone compound is formed. See, this is the what happened here. Now let us see this one. The other one is said to be, in the case of the properties, how does the esters reacts with the amides? When an ester is treated with the sodamide, it dissolved in liquid ammonia, condensation takes place together with the formation of an acid amide. This is ethyl acetate, sodamide. When they are allowed to react, you will get acetamide and sodium alkoxide is formed. What is the mechanism involved in this one? First of all, see, this is ethyl acetate and sodamide because there is a proton is acidic in nature. Sodamide is a strong base and removes the proton and it is in the form of NH3. Now the carbanion which is formed here will undergo a reaction with another molecule, so that what happens, it is goes to add here, it goes and adds here, and here the oxygen will be the negatively charged oxygen will be shifted to between the carbon and oxygen. Ethoxide ion is removed, so that finally what you get, the compound is ethyl acetate. That is, with amides we will get an ester, that is a condensation product, ethyl acetate is formed. This is what is ethyl acetate. This is ethyl acetoacetate. This is ethyl, this is aceto group, and this is acetate group. Ethyl acetoacetate is formed. And now let us go for the another one is said to be the hydrolysis reaction. How does this hydrolysis takes place? In the case of hydrolysis, you know that esters hydrolyzed by acids or alkalis to give alcohols and acids. If alkali is used, the alkali salt of the acid is formed. Alkali salts of higher fatty acids are soaps. So alkali hydrolysis of esters is called as saponification reaction. Saponification is more rapid than the acid hydrolysis. Hydrolysis of an ester is a reversible reaction. Esterification and hydrolysis both are reversible. And see, when ethyl acetate is hydrolyzed in presence of acid or a base, we will get acetic acid and ethyl alcohol. Let us see the mechanism. This is the acid catalyzed ester hydrolysis mechanism. What happens here? The proton, that is first step is the protonation step, where a nucleophilic center is generated. And for this nucleophilic center, you know that oxygen having two lone pair of electrons, they attacks on the nucleophilic center, and so that what happens, you see, you can observe that oxygen will get negatively charged one, positively charged one here. Then in this case some changes takes place, the proton is shifted to this alkoxyoxene, where this oxygen now will get the positive charge. Because of this reason, oxygen, whenever positive charge it is unstable, it immediately loses a proton. This is a loss of proton takes place. That is a loss of it is removed in the form of the alcohol, and the lone pair of electron again is shifted here, so that a loss of proton takes place here. You will get a carboxylic acid. This is acid catalyzed. In acid catalyzed ester, you will get directly carboxylic acid, and alcohol you will get. Whereas in the base catalyzer, this is acid catalyzed reaction. You see the different steps: protonation step, attacking nucleophile, elimination of the alcohol, elimination of the proton. Finally, you will get the carboxylic acid. Now let us see this one in base catalyzed hydrolysis. In base catalyzed hydrolysis, what happens? Now, attacking of OH minus ions on the carbon, and at the same time pi bond is shifted to the oxygen, you will get a negative charge in the oxygen and OH is added. In the next step, what happened? The negative charge again shifted to between the carbon and oxygen, and an alkoxy group is removed. Here you see alkoxy group, and a carboxylic acid is found. Being it is a strong base, it absorbs the proton. The proton is absorbed by the alkoxy group and results in the formation of carboxylate ion. Depending on the, what I meant to say, the potassium hydroxide, so the potassium salt is found. The sodium hydroxide, sodium salt is found. They're like this. That's why this is called saponification reaction, where this is used in making the soaps. This is what is base catalyzed reaction. See, this is about what is esters as well as the what is called as the amides. Now, what we discussed? We discussed regarding one is said to be the acid amides, another is said to be the esters. What are the methods of preparation? How does behave? What is the amphoteric nature? What is the Hofmann hypobromide method? Some important reactions of acid amides. And regarding the esters, how does the esters are prepared? What is esterification reaction and its mechanism? And another important is what is ester hydrolysis in acidic medium as well as in basic medium. These topics we discussed in this session 5th. With this, we completed the carboxylic acid and its derivatives. Finally, what I can say in this topic, in this carboxylic acid topics, we have completed 5 sessions, where in the first session we discussed about the introduction of carboxylic acid. Second session we discussed about the methods of the preparation and properties of the carboxylic acid. And in third session also properties of the carboxylic acid. In fourth session we discussed about acid chlorides and anhydrides. In fifth session we discussed about acid amides and esters. With this we can conclude this chapter. I hope this will be useful to you who watched this one. Thank you for one and all. With this I can conclude this chapter. And if you are interested these topics, go through these 5 topics and share it and subscribe, share with your friends and subscribe, and thank you one and all.